you're a fraud.
You're a liberal hack.
Bow, bow. All right, everybody, hello and welcome to... Is this episode 1 of season 2?
Or 2 of season 1.
Fuck you. Fuck you, computer. Let's keep rolling.
Keep rolling.
All right, I'm Ryan, as always, and joined by Nicholas.
Joined by me and...
Wait for it.
Me? Oh no, I should say my name. Edward Wiebeck. Nick's brother.
Yeah, you just wanted to talk into the camera. He's just
Oh,
sitting
yeah.
on a couch. So what do you want to get out of this industry, Ed?
I listened to the first episode and I find myself always talking at the podcast, going like, oh yeah, that, and then now I'm here to actually do that. So
Okay, now say that without a shirt. Anyway, that's weird. He's my brother. I don't want to...
Yeah, I'm just
time's up
too much,
for
yeah.
Nick and Ryan here.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're sort of always flirting being cancelled, but we haven't got anything to cancel.
Well, yeah, we haven't got started yet. That's my 5-year plan, is to get cancelled.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, first we need the success. First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the girl.
Then you get the cancel.
I've been cancelled 9 times.
Well, there you go. You're like 50 cent of cancel. Still going. All right.
And today we're going to talk about a few movies, but mainly the 25th James Bond movie, No Time to Die.
That's where you can put the riff.
Oh, right, I can put... No, I'll put the trailer in there.
That's what you usually put.
Daniel Brown. Yeah, how do you know better than he does with the format of the pod?
I'm a big fan.
I'm just a humble fan.
All right.
The world is arming faster than we can respond. Where's 007?
I need a favor, brother. You're the only one I trust for this.
The world's moved on, Commander Bond.
You were 00?
2 years. So stay in your lane. You get in my way, I will put a bullet in your knee. The one that works.
I thought you two would get along.
Name?
Bond.
James Bond.
Okay, No Time to Die. What did we think of the latest James Bond movie?
Well, shall I? I'll go first. Yes, Time to Die, I say. What a movie.
As in Time to Die for Daniel Craig as James Bond, to end the series?
That's straight in the spoilers.
No, I don't know.
It just turns out
I don't mean literally.
Yes, Time to Die. No, we'll talk about that later. But no, a big yes from me. I initial thoughts and blah blah. Having seen it just after you guys gave it a big old savage last or 2 weeks ago, I went to see it, and I really enjoyed it. Ed.
I got to say, after coming out of Spectre and just feeling violently ill, I really like this film. It's possibly my second favourite Craig one. Maybe I only saw it a few days ago, so I might change up, once that new movie wears off. But I enjoyed it. Of course, it's not without its drawbacks, but I had a good time with it, and I didn't hate it.
Yeah, not without its drawbacks, without positives though. That was my thought.
Without any positive.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair enough.
You really didn't like this film.
Yeah, I pretty much hated this film. I thought, because especially the first big chunk of the movie is very successful, and I enjoyed that quite a lot, and I just thought that the third act is a nightmare, and just the worst possible conclusion to the Daniel Craig James Bond franchise.
I don't completely disagree with you there. I actually kind of liked the ending, to be fair. As soon as I saw it happening, I'm like, they're going to have the balls to do this, and they did it. But in terms of action on screen, I thought the beats in the first few, there was the bit at the start where he's jumping over the bridge with the bungee, there's a bit in Cuba.
And just the whole chase
There's
through
the chase
the city.
through the city, there's the forest one.
When he does the
I
motorbike
thought the
up
weakest action scene was at the end. The action beats, it's just... it kind of looked a bit drab in the grey and everything. Wasn't as good.
Yeah, and it wasn't as challenging as for I guess the But we'll talk about that at the end, I think. As in go more in depth.
Yeah.
Just as we.
We'll just mark
this
this one as a spoiler review straight up, because I think it's hard to talk about this movie without talking about the ending. So this is pretty much one that you need to watch it before.
Maybe it's a good time to bring up our pod sponsor for the
Oh yeah,
the episode.
This episode it doesn't work because I've already said I hate it. Okay, so
You
this
can change that. Don't
all right,
worry.
this episode is sponsored by No Time to Die. And personally, I thought it was really brave what they did with this movie.
Ambitious.
Ambitious,
Comes to mind. Ambitious.
yeah.
Perfect in every way.
Really, they had a villain, so that
Tick.
was your tick.
Bonds don't naturally have villains. Like this one, they kind of went with the villain approach.
They had a woman. They had more than one woman.
They did.
Yeah.
There were action
They had
scenes.
names?
Yeah, yeah.
They had a Colombian, and I know you're going to think, oh, Shakira, did she do the song in this? No. Ana de Armas.
Billie Eilish did the song in it.
That's
She
right.
Colombian?
But I'm pretty sure.
I thought she might have been Cuban, but
I thought she was Spanish.
I mean, we're probably all wrong.
well, this is
probably-
we're getting cancelled.
That was a real indictment of all three of us, wasn't it?
None of those are similar.
Someone's got.
As I check IMDb, and
I thought for sure she was Spanish.
I thought she was Colombian.
Because she's married to PK.
Colombian. Was she? I mean, what? That's Shakira. Was married to PK and still is.
Yeah, aren't we talking about Shakira?
And she's Colombian, 100%. I know that. That's a fact, and you can check that. We're talking about Ana de Armas, though.
Ana de Armas, who is Cuban.
Oh, definitely Cuban.
What was she?
yeah,
Shakira?
Well, yeah,
No,
but we-
Shakira's Colombian. That's for sure.
but De Armas is
She's-
Cuban.
Yeah, de Armas is Cuban.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was right about Shakira.
Anyway, well, we can say about Ana.
Hey, if you take anything from this pod, it is that I was right about Shakira.
have we
All
confirmed
along.
that?
that could be the
think-
title of the pod, actually.
I was right all along about Shakira.
Yeah.
People will be like, wow, check out that episode. And Ana de Armas, scene stealer. I thought she was going to be Bond's little assistant for the rest of the movie, and I thought, fuck yeah, she's so good in this movie in the
Or
10
turn it
minutes. or
around and be
15.
like a sort of villain at the end, or had I was thinking she's coming back, but she never did.
I thought maybe
which was a plus and a minus for me.
Yeah.
I think she needs to be in more scenes, but the reason she came into this movie was because James Bond, well, Daniel Craig and her both started Knives Out, and Daniel Craig gave her a big kind of like, we need to get her in the movie. That's basically filmed everything, and they're like, all right, let's bring her in. And
All right,
and it's the best scene in the movie.
Yeah.
So what was the movie before that?
yeah,
True, yeah, they must have had some rewrites, but
Yeah.
that I really enjoyed like every minute of her in there. She sort of came across as a bit of everything. She wasn't like, I'm too good, I'm too silly. Like, she didn't have that bathos with her comedic timing, and she's got comedic timing, and that's
does.
so hard for someone who is so hot.
yeah, right. Because they've never needed to develop the ability to be
But she's
funny,
got
right?
it, yeah.
she just got it.
And I
So she's
thought
Cuban.
that's correct. Wow. And I thought she was. I thought maybe they would make her the 007 at the end because I know they were doing the whole
Yeah.
thing, and I thought, and I would absolutely watch an Ana de Armas spy movie as her as like a James Bond type figure.
For sure. I hope
But-
she appears in. If they're going to continue with this one, and I say if because we don't know what direction they want to go, but she surely has to be in the picture somewhere.
Well, at the end of the credits, they did have the James Bond will return.
Oh, I thought you meant there's going to be like a scene at the end.
Oh
It's
no,
just
no,
like
Anna, no, that would be good.
with Thanos or something.
I can imagine they're just ruining the whole movie by having this like glove like pop out of that island. You're like, oh, get out of here, you know. He's still alive, you know.
Anyway, well, let's talk about the super weak elements of it.
Well,
The villain. What is his motivation? Tell
No,
me
his
in
villain
a
was great.
sentence.
you go, but
I kind of agree with you that I was like, okay, yeah, you've gone the way you killed Spectre, and that jump from him being like, no, he wants to destroy the whole world. I was just like, why? What?
Yeah.
What's he thinking?
I understand the revenge on Spectre because
Yeah, that was all good.
Blofeld killed his parents.
I was on board there.
yeah.
But
It's
then
sort of
what's
like,
his motivation now? He's selling to the highest bidder.
No, he's on a path of cleansing the world. So from his point of view, he was on this kind of. He's a germ freak, wasn't he? He was always got gloves on. I feel like
Was he?
anyway. I
just
can't
might be
remember
wrong,
to be
Millie.
honest, but like he was just on this kind of path to wanting to cleanse the world, and he's going to take down like cleanse evil from the world, which is a misguided path because obviously he was taking down. He thought he was doing the 00 agents and the secret spies jobs for them. That was where he was coming from.
But he was selling the weapon to just random terrorist groups, like the highest bidder.
He was no, but I think he was trying to infiltrate that way. But I don't think that was his end goal. I have to watch it again, obviously. Now. You make me
don't
watch
have
it
to.
again.
Well, on that note, if that's what he was trying to do, it wasn't clearly communicated to the audience as much. Like the him wanting to get it back at Spectre was, and I was on
Yeah.
board with that. That's why you explaining that, I was like,
I don't know.
yeah.
In an age where there's over exposition on everything,
True. But you can always go under.
maybe stop switching off when you go to the movie and actually concentrate.
I switch on when I see Rami Malek, and
I liked
I would have
him.
preferred
I
if he was
really
just
thought he was
Doctor
great.
No. I thought he was Doctor No to begin with.
I thought he was really good. But I mean, I think this is where me and Nick disagree. I kind of wanted to see a bit more of him.
Oh yeah, he's very limited screen time really, and
Look, I want to say, we can agree that despite we all love Christoph Waltz, but
Oh, yeah.
his villain was weak.
with
Weak
that,
as hell.
and that was the most disappointing part of
Yeah.
Spectre is like you got Christoph Waltz
Yeah.
playing Blofeld. You're thinking this is
Yeah,
going to be
it's like-
the best villain.
You cast that every single day,
every single day,
right?
and then completely underutilized. And he was fine in this one, but he was again barely in it.
But to me, yeah, Rami Malek's character, I forgot what his name is in the movie, but
I looked at
his
Lucifer Safin.
Safin, yeah.
Sefin, yeah, but he was just such a. I thought he was such like he was just like kind of had this like shadow on the movie. I thought, and you don't see him very much. And when he finally pops up, he was like to me a great reveal as a like he was the villain the whole time. But I thought his screen time wasn't overplayed. It's kind of like
there's
the
nothing wrong
Emperor,
with
the
it.
Darth Vader,
Yeah.
like not having.
He kind of reminded me of
that screen.
Leto in Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I thought he was able to communicate a real kind of like bad guy. Like
Oh,
a villain,
Rami's a
lot
great
more
actor,
than
like,
and
yeah.
Leto. I think again it was kind of overacting a bit.
Yeah.
I reckon like
Yeah,
when he's
yeah.
the Joker, ha ha,
Yeah.
riding on his body.
Yeah.
That'll do. Get me an Oscar.
Nah,
But all he did was annoy his co-workers, sending
Used
half-filled
condoms and
used
stuff.
condoms
Yeah,
to Will
shit like that.
Smith. Will Smith's got enough problems, as we know.
yeah,
Without
right.
having to deal with that shit. He probably thought it was from his wife.
He's probably busy
God
throwing.
damn it.
He's probably busy throwing up during it.
Yeah, what's this? Will Smith was like the coolest dude in 1997,
Oh my
and
God,
now he's
yeah.
like the grossest man
Oh my
alive.
God,
It's
yeah.
so sad.
More he speaks.
He's been muted.
Yeah, other bad elements of this movie. Well, I feel like we'll just talk about the ending. Did you feel that James Bond's death was earned?
Yes.
I mean, Safin is like a villain. Like, if it was Blofeld, maybe, but Safin is that's the one that he sacrifices himself for. This guy that we met like an hour ago that Bond has no real connection to.
Yeah, but we understand at the end like why he's done it because he's got that thing on his hands and he kind
He
of
can't hug his daughter. Yeah, but he could
Yeah.
zoom her. We've been doing it for 2 years. Like,
yeah, but like as
or he could just like be on the other side of glass. Like, that's better than death.
yeah, but if he touches something and that thing touches his daughter or his
Just
wife,
be
that's
careful.
it.
Like, we're in the middle of a pandemic. We've adjusted
He
to
is
this.
he is the most dangerous thing to his daughter's safety and his wife's safety. I kind of get the call to kill himself. Anyway, we're in spoilers there. If you didn't know he killed himself at the end of the movie, he in fact does.
Yeah.
So the title's a lie. Now I'll give you an idea because I didn't
All right.
like this.
Tell me what
element.
you did like.
No,
Oh,
but what,
oh,
no,
we're still on the dislikes. Good.
yeah. So
can
I
fill
didn't
it.
I didn't like the love story. And I never had. No, and
Yeah.
this is from Spectre as well. That this was like the Bond girl, and this was like he was in love.
Yeah, was she in Spectre? I kind of forget.
She was.
She was, okay.
And she's just to me just like I'm never sold on that. I'm
No.
like with every like
Or
Evergreen.
Vespa. Yeah,
Vespa.
maybe a bit more.
Oh yeah, I mean like, and I love that she's still
the
in
one,
movie, but,
yeah.
like she's probably one of, if not the best Bond girl. in all of Bond.
Vespa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was. I guess because Spectre was such a forgettable movie at best.
Yeah.
That she's like a big part of that. It kind of does overplay into this one. You're like, I should care more, but yeah.
Yeah, but if you'd never seen Spectre and just watched this,
Which is
you
basically
still,
where I'm at after having watched
Yeah.
Spectre in cinema
It's
and never
forgettable,
again.
right?
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
still don't really. You're not really into this love story.
No. Who is this Madeline? I don't. Yeah, I had
And
no
then
feelings for
they
her.
have their
really.
breakup, and then that's when the Billie Eilish song comes on.
Which is good.
And there's
actually,
I love this song too. And normally that's how it goes. Good song,
Yeah.
good Bond.
That's very true, because who remembers the Quantum of Solace one?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, who did that one?
I don't
No one
know.
knows.
Is
But you said this is your second
Jack
favorite,
White
maybe.
Jack White.
That could change to third after I sort of think about it.
Is
a
it
bit more.
Casino Royale, Skyfall that you
Casino
drop
Royale? I think Casino Royale is probably the best Bond film
Oh,
ever
for sure.
made.
Yeah.
Skyfall's good, really good.
Very
And that could be second or third with the as Daniel Craig wants. I mean, there's obviously some other good ones from the past.
What you need to be on this pod, Ed, is what you need to is just double down on all our opinions. Don't give ground. Don't give this Ryan some ground and say, oh, maybe you're right. No, he's wrong. Look at him straight in the beard and tell him he's wrong.
Look me in the beard and say that, boy. Would be a good Bond line, wouldn't it? Look me in the beard, Bond.
Something about having a
Something.
trim and chopping his head off.
Yeah. Close shave, Mr. Bond.
Yeah, exactly. There were a couple of those lines as well, weren't there?
Oh, yeah. Okay, now we'll get into some good stuff. Let's get into this.
Alright.
You know, one of the co-writers for this, and
How many writers are there? 5?
Yeah, you can tell because there's a lot of different directions to go. But one of them is a comedian, Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Yeah,
Bridges.
I did hear she punched up the script.
Yeah, and that's why
As
I
opposed
really
to punching down, thank God.
finally someone tells it like it is. No, but I thought the comedy in the script was really tight. I like that word you used before. Bathos.
This movie, the comedy in this movie works.
Not a
doesn't
Marvel
have-
villain, by the way.
Oh, yes.
Bathos. Do you want to explain
Bathos.
to the viewers what Bathos?
Oh, Bathos is basically any comedy moment in the latest Star Wars sequels that just takes you out of the movie. So
They
basically,
fly now?
Basically, yeah, that sort of stuff. Or like if James Bond was to like, you know, suddenly like his pants were to fall down. He's like, oh, that's embarrassing. My pants fell down. I'm James Bond. Like, so it just takes you out of the movie. Like, what is this? But so it's I guess it's just.
And he's wearing big, stupid, oversized boxes with pink love hearts.
Big
on
love
them. My pants.
Oh no, not again. But so it's it completely ruined the with other reasons like the new Star Wars films or
Yeah, where he puts him on hold. He's just like, oh,
Your
Yeah, when he puts him on hold, it makes your mother. Yeah,
or like
yeah.
when the Finn goes around, he's like, look, I'm bleeding water everywhere, I'm tripping over. Like,
yeah.
anyway, so this is not the movie, but so I thought the comedy moments, while being a bit cheeky, a bit like,
None of them
kind of worked. And I was on board.
They often do a callback, and all Bonds, they always do this. They'll say a line, and there'll be a callback to that line at some point. And they that often's where you need to have a nice kind of comedic and well-timed joke and everything like that. And so that, I agree with that. I think that was a strong point for the film was that I laughed when I was meant to laugh, but I never felt like, you know, with that face you go, like, where you go, oh, okay.
Yeah, true. I mean, as much as some of them were like on the cusp, like when the guy's eye blows up and he goes, it was mind blowing, and you're like, yeah, that's fine. It's James Bond. I mean, you have to expect that level of camp in Bond.
Yeah.
By the same token, like the Daniel Craig Bonds are so not that. Like they've veered away from the camp, and sometimes they like come back into it. And this movie particularly, where it changes the James Bond character, because the thing about Bond is that he doesn't really grow very much. Like he is just the same guy, and because Craig has been here for 5, and they're like gritty reimaginings, he grows and changes into like now this new Bond who's willing to sacrifice himself and is in love and is a father. And they're still bringing it back to like the campy lines. I found there to be a clash there.
Nah, so that often happens, not often, but I know what you mean. So every other Bond has been like, you sort of have a standalone Bond and you know what you're getting. I think that's what they brought in with Daniel Craig, is that you kind of follow along his sort of
Continuity.
specific journey, and it is so like you can't just pick up from Quantum of Solace and be like, who's
Yeah,
this?
that would
What
be
the hell?
super confusing.
Yeah, or he was.
Yeah, no, I understand why
And
they've
so,
done it.
because I think what this I guess Daniel Craig Bond has kind of really confirmed is that 007 is the number, or James Bond is the number, and so everyone that's played him brings something specific to, like, cause I'm pretty sure one of Roger Moore's last Bond, the final one, was where he lost the girl that he married, which is
That's
his
the
Bond.
Lazenby one. That's on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Yeah, and they had some
That's
references.
and they actually quote the lines.
We have all the time in the world. Oh, that's Lazenby.
That's on
Yeah.
Her Majesty's Secret Service. That was he came in after.
Well, that was
5?
only one Bond, and he was just one and done.
Partly because he
Yeah.
can really act, and it
It
was just a
very
male.
strong-
It was
that
just
was
a
a very
male
good
model
Bond.
from like Country New South Wales or something. Like
Queanbeyan, actually.
Queanbeyan.
Oh, it's Queanbeyan. There you go. Yeah. All right.
That was a trivia.
Which is country.
That's a
New
good.
South
That
Wales,
is
too.
it. Yeah. We are both right. But then so they brought back in Sean Connery for that one. No, I think Roger Moore's ones had basically no consequences. Pretty much all of them. He's like, well, I'll get the girl after, and I'll have a martini, shaken, not stirred. And he's like 60 in the last one, dating like a 20-year-old. You know, like,
Yeah, that's
he's
fine.
like, this is how it's done. In old parties.
not to
Cheers,
jump ahead, but what do we want to see out of the next Bond?
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I don't know how to answer that. So I know, okay, so one of the new characters they brought in, besides Ana de Armas, who I was kind of really worried about, and I actually turned out to actually like the new 007. I was worried they would go with Jane Bond, which is
Sure.
like just literally James Bond, but switch the genders. But
Yeah.
I'm glad they've actually gone a completely different character. There's obviously similarities, but they're completely different people. Like you're not
Yeah.
going to have this Jane Bond, let's say, be like just the reverse.
Does she have a name in it, or is it she just 007?
Yeah, she's just referred. Well, I think just 007. But I liked the character. I actually liked the character.
Liked
I
the
know,
character?
honestly, I did. Yeah.
I didn't dislike her character. It's about as far as I can go with that.
No,
She
I liked it.
she
yeah.
grew on me. I hated her in the first scene, but other than they're like, you're all right. You're just trying to help. You know,
Yeah.
came on a bit strong, but yeah, you're right.
But I mean, that's the thing. It's because, like, in that line of work, it's overconfidence is, your confidence is what sells you. So it's kind of like they're all
It makes sense, yeah. And Bond would come across quite over the top to begin.
exactly,
Yeah,
everyone hated him.
but I don't think I want to see her in the next James Bond movie as like the James Bond character,
Yeah.
as the title. Like Bond will return as James Bond, as it's just going to be the James Bond character by a new person, and so do we want to go back campy? Do we want to go more like Brosnan?
I don't know what we want, but what I think will happen is I think they'll have the next installment. I do think there will be one. They'll give it a go. But they're going to go for more of the kind of, if you think of like the Ethan Hunt series, Mission Impossible, more of a team-based thing. So you got the 007, you got Q, you got M, and then you got Ana de Armas coming in to probably work on Rogue Nation. So,
Yeah.
They'll call it something
And
else.
you can bring back those characters
And
because you have like
bring in someone
M
new,
and
yeah.
stuff across like different Bonds.
That's
so
where I
it's
see
fun.
it going. And look, I'll give it a watch. I'm not sure. Look, that's the thing. I don't know what the right answer is here, but I'll give it a watch. It's this last movie for me set up enough for me to be interested in the next installment. That might be different for you, though, right?
No, I think it felt like the end, and I'm ready for a clean slate now, like new Bond.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd prefer them to, go with obviously someone new will come in, but I could see them doing the whole other characters where it's not just about one person. Whereas Ethan Hunt has this much screen time in Mission Impossible, and everyone else has got their little bits. And I think they probably might do that. They might have these secondary characters having more of a role, more depth.
Yeah.
I
Well, the
guess.
reason that works in Mission Impossible is because I guess Ethan Hunt isn't like the charismatic guy like that Bond is. So you can't really sell a franchise with just sort of Tom Cruise. He plays a very good role, and his stunts are fantastic, of course.
You saying I'm not fantastic? You saying I'm not charismatic?
I can fly.
I can fly.
He can do all those.
You're gonna
things.
get
Don't
sued,
tell me.
I just watched a video of like a reporter spraying Tom Cruise with like a fake microphone, and he grabs him and he's like, "Hey man, why would you do that? Why would you think that's funny?" And the guy just starts crying.
Does he know how to blink? I don't know. Having said that, I do love him. I actually love
Me too.
I love the Mission Impossibles. Like they somehow have gotten better every time. They're like, I don't know
wouldn't
how
say
they do it.
that. That could be, no, not better.
Yes.
I honestly like Mission Impossible 2 than all the new ones.
Really? That's
100%,
That's
100%.
widely
I don't-
regarded as the worst in the 6.
No, number 3 is
Number-
pretty bad.
no-
Come on.
I looked it up recently because I was going to show Meeks, like, do we want to watch Mission Impossible? I was like, do we have to watch the original trilogy again? Because I can't even remember them now. And then every single person was like, skip 2,
Yeah.
but the others are good.
Hey, look, you've just introduced another
I agree.
cast member to this pod. You're gonna have to explain who you just.
My girlfriend. Yeah.
People are trying to keep up with all the characters of the pod, Ryan. They're like, who are
What are
these
their
people?
motivations?
Yeah.
I agree and disagree with both of you because I think Mission Impossible 2 is terrible, but also really good if you like put like a backwards cut, you get like some tips in your hand, you listen to Limp Bizkit beforehand and drink a mother, and then go watch that shit, then it's the best one.
Yeah,
because that is John Woo. It's like,
2000s.
yeah!
It's John Woo. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
Tell
awesome.
me, Mr. Bond. Are you talking about Mission Impossible 2? Yeah. Yeah. What is wrong with that film? Please tell me something wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that film if you have the conditions that I just said. You're shirtless, you listen to Limp Bizkit beforehand, and then you go in.
Yeah, I know. Bingo.
You go in
Just-
raw.
I feel like if you've done that, you don't have to worry about many things in life.
It's true.
That is success. If you can bleach the tips,
If you
like
still that
you're-
in 2021 and you just wrote it through,
if you're still calling people bro like that, and just like if you got Oakleys and you're saying that, I don't see much wrong with you.
Yeah. You probably got to put out a few like fires on your front lawn. But anyway, James Bond. That's right. Somehow.
John Woo was great. He loves his pigeons too. Those pigeon scenes
And
are
doves?
amazing.
Well, Hard Target's the best film he's ever done. Probably the best film ever done. Okay. let's move back
That's
to
a controversial opinion of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was-
I still think I don't think Idris Elba's too old. I think we
No way. No, he can still. I'm up for him.
I still
He's the one. If I could choose the next Bond, he's my choice.
just quickly. There was one that was really out of left field.
Oh, yeah?
When I first heard it, was Matt Smith. Because I'd only seen Doctor Who, right? And I was like, I don't really know.
I don't
but
like
then
it.
I watched him in The Crown as Philip, and the moments when he's not playing a buffoon, when he's like all svelte and wealthy and kind of classy high.
It's just it doesn't suit the character. I'm sorry.
Maybe if it's a young Bond, if it's like a younger Bond, I could totally get behind Matt
He's
Smith.
not that young anymore.
He's like 6'4". He's like 35. surely
He's a Q. He's a Q. Like that's his character. If he's
Yeah, I
ever gonna
agree.
be
I
a
agree.
Bond.
He would actually be a good
Idris
kid.
Elba. If we went back 5 years ago and said the new James Bond is next year, I'd say Idris Elba is perfect. But like they're not going to make it for 5 years, and they don't want to have someone.
Oh, wait.
you want someone to be around for 4
So,
birdies.
Here's what they're gonna do: Idris
Yeah.
Elba, he's gonna have a beard, he's gonna be grizzled and old, and he's gonna have to look after a girl for the whole movie, like a 7-year-old girl, and they're gonna develop a father-daughter bond.
And it's gonna be a white girl.
It's gonna be yeah, that's right.
Are you talking about Idris Elba or Denzel Washington? Like, I think there's like 10 movies.
Man on
Denzel
Fire.
Washington
Yeah.
like that. He's like, I got to book it. My man.
I think just so we can we know the stakes, it's gonna have to be a white girl that he has to protect. I mean that's society. I'm not the one that's saying that they are more valuable than a black girl. Don't cut this. Don't cut this
I was
because
just
if you cut
watching
it right
22
there,
Jump Street when Jonah Hill's like, just so you know, I care more that it's like a black woman that's
Yeah.
the victim. And Channing Tatum's
can
like,
I go on record
I
as
think it
saying
means equal. He's like, no. If it was a white person, I wouldn't give a shit.
Oh right. Anyway, we're going down.
But
I'm gonna try and
speaking
kick myself.
of like racial relations,
Yeah.
and we'll come back to Bond, I guess. But I also watched Die Hard 3 just recently, and Die Hard 3, the Samuel L. Jackson one,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that one.
There you go.
yeah, is like almost as good as the first one, and is by
Yeah,
far the
totally.
second best, if not the best.
Do you think this is controversial? That's everyone thinks. That.
Yeah, that's
that Die Hard 3 is like
Die Hard
as
3 is
good?
easily second best.
I always thought it was like good as well, but it was like it's almost like better than the first one. Like the chemistry between Bruce Willis and it's something that I believe
Jeremy Irons as well.
Jeremy Irons, yeah, I know,
Like-
it's so good. Jeremy Irons. But this is something I've believed for a while, is that I feel like we've gone backwards in movies with like racial relations and talk and stuff. Like that movie addresses it head on. Those two are like very
they're
racially
blunt about it,
charged
yeah,
throughout the whole
yeah.
movie.
Well, it's Lethal Weapon time as well.
Lethal
wasn't it?
Weapon as
Yeah.
well. Like they always had the buddy cop
No
thing, and now it
Breathe.
feels way worse. Like
They have to actually point it out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what it's like. You know, like.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this is like the scene where it's like Bruce Willis is like, "You stupid." He's like, "What? You were gonna call me?" And it's like, "No, I wasn't." He's like, "Yes, you were." He's like, "I was gonna call you an asshole."
Yeah, that's a very good film. That's quite good. Should we get into? We'll get into the ratings though. and then we'll
No Time to Die. Let's quickly
about this.
like
Alright.
wrap up No Time to Die.
Are we-
Any final thoughts? Like, I'll do my quick recap of No Time to Die.
Yeah.
First third was awesome. I thought I was in for like a real treat. Particularly the opening car chase in the city, going up the small cobblestone streets, and the motorbike stunt up the fucking wall was like one of the coolest things I see. I hope it's not CGI. I hope they just did that. It looked very real.
Knowing
so-
James Bond, they do tend to do
Do
all the stunts
some-
they can, apart
yeah.
from maybe like Die Another Day.
And
But-
that's the appeal of these movies, is that you're going to an event, like you're seeing something that is crazy that it's been captured on film, that they actually did this. And it's why it succeeds more than like Marvel and stuff. It's like, oh, they put this together in a computer. I do not give a shit at all. But like seeing them like capture that in real life is amazing, right?
Which is great in Mission Impossible too. That's
Yeah.
that's its
All
strong
right.
point. Sorry, yeah, keep
And
going.
all the Mission Impossibles. Or did you say Mission Impossible TOO or TWO?
Also,
Okay.
I think it's called Also.
Yeah. And I liked some of the character relationships. I liked Jeffrey Wright, and I didn't think he needed to die. I thought, and I really liked Ash, the American guy who's like a doofus and is the double crosser. I just love that guy. He's hilarious.
He's in heaps of things.
Yeah, as like a doofus. So it
always a
kind of
comic.
like
Yeah.
it kind of works. Like he's a super spy, but he's an American. And like all the British are like reasonable people, and he's just like got this stupid American grin on his face the whole movie.
Yeah.
And then fucking dies like in a satisfying way, gets crushed by a car. I thought that was all good, and then like the final third just falls apart. It slows right the hell down. I was confused by Safin's motivations. I was confused by Bond's motivations for doing what he did, and I thought that his death was just kind of cheap. And like when you're just thinking like, why doesn't he just leave? Why doesn't he just do this? There are so many options for not dying. Even if like you can answer those questions, having those questions running through your head is always disappointing, rather than just being like, oh no, there's no way out, he's dead, fuck, now I'm sad. I just felt like, why doesn't he just leave? Why doesn't he do this, So overall, the last third really just like brought down the whole, and I didn't like that they killed him. You never kill Bond. Like, that's not why we go to see Bond. It's an escapist fantasy. It's supposed to be a fun time at the cinema, and I don't mean don't have any emotional pull to it, but killing Bond for me felt like the dumbest decision. It's never happened in the series before. Why is this movie special? This movie isn't special enough to kill Bond. That's how I felt. So overall, I gave it a 5.
Well, okay, no worries. I mean, I guess that's it. I
guess that's like your opinion.
That's your opinion. Yeah. I'll go mine. I gave it an 8. Just come straight out and sort of giving a massive blurb as to why I'm giving it a score. How about I just tell you? It's an 8.
No justification needed.
Yeah, you're like the villain. You're sort of explaining the whole.
This
is why you need to do this, Mr. Bond. I was yeah. No, I didn't think he needed to explain much more. For the reason I just said earlier. I thought his the reasons behind what he was doing are sort of behind. He's from a family. Is this kind of like a evil family? I imagine anyway. I feel like he would have been doing that sort of shit anyway. Had it not been. Probably.
All right.
He had that sort of character. He was always kind of like a unhinged kind of psychopath, I feel.
Yeah.
Anyway, I really liked him. I honestly, I've never seen a film that of Rami Malek's that I really sort of thought he was like, oh my god, this guy's a great actor. Until now, I didn't really think I didn't love him as Freddie Mercury. So
I thought he was good in the movie, but he just wasn't Freddie. I think Sacha Baron Cohen would have been such a fucking good Freddie.
I feel like that could have been. Yeah, exactly. I think captures his silliness.
I watched him in The Pacific recently, Rami Malek, and he was quite good in that. Plays kind of like this, like sexually vague, kind of southern, almost villain, but not quite a villain. Like, really interesting character. I'm a big Rami fan, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, the decision to kill Bond for me, I didn't have a problem with. So it's not something I'm leaving the cinema going, oh my god, they did this. And 25 entrances of James Bond, and they've never done it. They did it. Guess what? He's dead. Your precious Mr. Bond has died. You have no life. Now there's no one to stop me from take over world.
Actually, I did like all the Russians. I love that Russians have made a resurgence as villains.
It's because they don't get offended.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
like no one gets offended on their behalf. They're like, oh, they're Russians. They're probably evil anyway. Like, you got like people on the left go like, oh, I don't trust them, and people on the right go like, yeah, a bunch of commies, and like together like, yeah,
you know how they cope? They just write a bunch of fucking literacy that just is completely fucking
for
sad.
Every time they're a villain, they do another QAnon thing with like, yeah, JFK Jr.'s coming back.
Yeah, exactly. Take that.
My score?
Yeah.
I thought mostly the same, Nick. I definitely got on board with the motives of the heroes. The villains, I was a bit confused by. Having said that, I actually loved him as a villain. The only part I didn't like is I wanted to see more, but that's just me. So I can understand they're trying to hide him around a bit. But like, yeah, big shot onto the action scenes. Like, all those stunts were filmed. Like the bike scene you were talking about, the cable little jump there, all that stuff in
the
Cuba.
Forest car chase.
It was just so good. Like, it's just so visually pleasing on the eyes. And all those beats, the forest car chase. So, and good thing that like movies have got right out of that shaky cam. They just like film it, shoot it, make it real, and it's so good. One thing I have to say, the guy with the bionic eye, but they basically just get like some guy in like Blacktown or something with a bum bag, like, hey, you with the shaved head, you were coming I was like, are we meant to know who you are? Is he like a fighter or something? They kept like showing his face a bit. I'm like, is he famous or is he just
Just got an
Just a-
eye. Yeah,
just a
he just had
street
he
kid.
just the guy with the eye. I like when Bond has those kind of weird characters that you just like they just hang about for way like it's like
Yeah.
someone kill him.
I didn't have too much of a problem with him. Yeah.
Oh no, I was just like,
is
how's
this
he
guy?
not been killed yet? Anyway,
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with a 8-2 because I thought
Wow.
it was pretty good. Look, that might change over time, but at this stage, I saw it recently and I had a good time. And maybe hating on the last film made me like this one better because I was like, oh cool, you brought me out of that stupor. And I was on board with the fact that they killed him. I was like, that is subverting my expectations, but making it plausible that they would kill him. I was like, oh yeah, that's not out of nowhere. Like, yeah, there's a bit of build up and everything. Yeah.
See, my expectation was that they would kill him, so they met my expectation.
You thought that was
okay.
gonna happen.
Yeah, I thought that was how they would end Craig for sure because he wants to put like that full stop on it
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
be done. And I just had the vibe that that's what they were doing, and the way everybody was talking about it, I was like, they're gonna fucking kill him.
I
And then-
completely cleared my mind and didn't watch anything for it. That was good.
I didn't
That was
watch
good.
any trailers either.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
I just went with like the blank man.
yeah. So anyway,
There we go.
That was Bond 25.
8 from me, 8 from Ed, 5 from you.
Yeah.
You're thinking.
I guess more discerning.
Yeah, we're a bit of dominant.
No,
You guys will eat up any old shit. Didn't you like Avengers? Fuck you.
I love Jack and Jill. All right.
I really do want to watch Jack and
Yippee
Jill.
Halloween is my.
Is Jack and Jill the one where Al Pacino's in it?
Yes.
My Dunkachino. Say hello to my
What do I do
chocolate.
if I cry?
Hey, speaking of Al Pacino, we're just doing a little
he still
movie
alive?
recap. Yeah, he's still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
A little movie recap outside of No Time to Die since the last pod. Saw Scarface again.
Oh,
for
yeah.
the first time in a while, and man, that movie fucking holds up. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure whether it would, and it's got some really, really great, like, super specific '80s moments, like the push it to the limit, da, 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 da,
Yeah,
that montage.
Basically, all the
scene.
playlists
Yeah.
from GTA 3 and Vice City, like they use all those songs.
Yeah, yeah.
All the reference from Vice City. Yeah.
Man, Al Pacino's so awesome in that movie.
Mm.
Like, he's got all these weird affectations that he hasn't done in any other movie, and is before, like, Al Pacino has become, I don't know, the modern Al Pacino. It's like,
There was that quick change, wasn't there?
Yeah, where he had a different sort of character, he was really kind of leaning into a different performance for each
It's like the
character.
Dog Day
70s.
Afternoon, if you've seen that.
Yeah, well, 70s, 80s, and 90s are, like, very clear, like, Al Pacino periods. Like, 70s is, like, Godfather, Serpico, Dog Day Afternoon. I feel like Godfather might even be in that almost 80s kind of period. But he's got those early characters, which are, like, really dark and dirty characters from the 70s, which I love. Like, the 70s is probably my favorite era of film.
There are some good gems there, isn't there?
And then the
Some really-
80s, like, he kind of becomes a bit more flamboyant, a bit more extravagant. And then in the 90s, he's kind of like that older, aggressive, like, Heat. That's the perfect,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
like,
Heat, yeah.
So he's got. I love just watching Al Pacino through like the years as he transitions to different
I
roles.
watched one of his movies, like I want to say about a month ago, Sense of a Woman, which I hadn't
Oh,
seen
yeah.
in ages.
I've
Is
never
that the
seen it.
blind one?
That's where he's blind. Hey, you! Put that stick. Yeah.
Oh, I can't see. Oh.
You wanna crucify this boy because he's got integrity. He's got he sort of like completely sort of gives himself to that role. I think that's why they gave him. I think he got
That's
an
the Oscar for that one,
I think
yeah.
so, yeah. But he just really
Bit of a
just
makeup
went
Oscar as well.
all, yeah. I reckon I'm exactly right.
yeah.
Same with Denzel.
He was,
Yeah.
He was in that. There was a thing. I think it was on Amazon Hunters. That it's a show, but he plays this like old Jewish guy. It's funny seeing him. I'm pretty sure he's not Jewish.
He's
But
Italian.
he's like he just goes, "Oh, they," you know. Like, he just says like, "Oh, I'll just add some Yiddish on the end of the." You're like, no, you know, like apparently Italians and Jews are the same according to Hollywood.
and Cubans, like
They're Cuban too. Hey, but that's his talent. That's his talent.
that's his talent. Yeah, they definitely would
I'm
have
not
got a
against
real
it.
Cuban today. Hey, the only guy who was actually Cuban is the guy who plays Manny, his best friend. And I always love that dynamic, like the smarter, like less handsome, generally shorter guy, and like the big dumb handsome guy who's like his best friend that helps him do stuff. That character dynamic I really love and is like prevalent to the core in Scarface. Also 21 Jump Street, which I watched as well the other day. That dynamic is just hilarious. to me.
Yeah,
I
it
love
never really doesn't work. Yeah, and we're talking about those buddy kind of films. We mentioned Lethal Weapon before, which doesn't really have, but it has that kind of two really different characters. One guy's kind of like an older, take it easy kind of, and you got Buddy.
They need more like
Mel-
odd couple
Mel-
movies.
Odd
They don't
Couple.
have those anymore.
Yeah, Mel. Yeah.
If they do, they just probably make it too stupid. Like, oh, what if Kevin Hart and The Rock did something together? You're like, you don't get it.
You need to get it.
Oh, all right. That brings me to my next one.
Oh,
which is
let's
made
not
by
talk about it.
Oh, but you want to hear this film? If you like,
You're the only one who
He's
saw
getting
it.
his. He's getting some notes down. He wants to hear this movie.
What is it?
So you like The Rock acting with like someone like Kevin Hart or
Yeah.
How about Ryan Reynolds?
Oh, he's still cool.
He's still cool.
He's
and-
cool.
Hey,
Yeah,
what,
I've
what
seen
if,
him before.
What if they asked Ryan
don't-
Reynolds to just play himself and have
Okay.
The Rock just kind of buddy up and they just kind of rebound off each other?
sounds like a Ryan
You know,
Reynolds movie.
You got The Rock kind of throwing some stuff and then Ryan Reynolds throwing some stuff back.
He says sass back. Like
Bit-
a lot of
bit-
sass.
lot of sass.
With that like slightly Canadian accent.
Yeah,
It
that's
sounds
good.
like my first, like when I die, like my first level of hell. It's just Ryan Reynolds and the Rock movies
Oh my
fucking on
God,
repeat
yeah.
forever.
yeah, it felt this. I feel like
haven't
this
done that
movie was
bad.
only an hour and a half long, but it felt like forever.
Yeah, it felt like Lawrence of Arabia.
This is Red Notice we're talking about.
Oh.
It is fucking
I don't like movies with
terrible.
red in the title. There's like Red State, that Kevin Smith movie.
Red Dawn.
Red with
The Bruce
John Malkovich
Willis-y
and
one,
and
yeah.
Red
Oh,
2.
Unforgettable.
Red
Unforgettable.
Name one good
Red
Red
Eye.
movie. Hunt for Red October.
Oh,
Got it.
yeah.
Hunt-
Yeah, there you go.
Got it, we
Got
did
it.
it.
Got it in full.
This is why I wear the movie pod.
Yeah. If anyone else can think of anything, keep it to yourself. Don't tweet or anything.
Red Dawn. Shit, there's some good ones.
Yeah, it's Red Dawn.
Yeah. Avenge me. Yeah, that's got some lines. But
Yeah.
so avoid it at all costs is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
it's not like people
And
say.
who else is in it? Wonder Woman?
Yeah, she's in it. That's right. Yeah.
How was she in it?
And she's got some really poignant things to say about
Israeli-Palestine conflict?
she like I know because I think she has a sort of moment in the film where she just says, "Look, we need to address the elephant in the room," and obviously Ryan Reynolds goes, "What this? A big stuffed elephant?" It's just but then she then brings
She
up
says Palestine.
why she had expressed those views on Twitter.
Remember Wonder Woman when she solved the crisis by like saving those two kids?
Yeah, that's right.
good.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'll only kick one Palestinian woman in the back today. That's Krav Maga.
yeah,
That's
so-
what Krav Maga is.
But she doesn't apologize. She says the old, "If you were offended." No, obviously she does none of that stuff, but it would have made the movie better.
She did. If she stopped in the middle of the movie, broke the fourth wall straight at the camera.
Saying just like, let us have all of it. Like, oh, shit.
yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Haven't we been through enough? I think that's what she said.
Well, you don't care about them. Oh god, okay, let's.
Anyway, yeah, so she's in that, and I forgot a bunch of other people probably. Terrible. Don't watch it.
I bet you Ed Sheeran has a cameo.
Oh, he does actually. Yeah.
Does he really?
Yeah, he does. Seriously,
Maybe I
for
remember that.
real, yeah.
Fuck.
That's like, that should be like the sign of death on your movie. Because as soon as you came to Game of Thrones, you're like,
Yeah, that was the
and that's
word.
where it ended up.
That was the end of Game of
Yeah,
Thrones, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like this little hobbit comes in and goes, hey, I can sing. You know.
They didn't even kill him in Game.
And I hated him in Yesterday, to be honest. Like, they could have
yeah,
had anybody else. And it's fine. I like the guy, but just stop putting him in movies.
Yeah,
He's not an actor.
they're
He's
trying
not
to
Justin
make him. They're
Timberlake.
trying to make him a thing.
Oh, Justin Timberlake.
Man,
Put
that
him in more
guy can
movies.
act.
Bring him back.
Yeah.
That is
yeah.
a triple threat right there.
In Time, No Strings Attached. Do you do other movies?
Why
I
are
don't
you
know.
giving, why are you giving his worst ones first?
What else has he done?
He's
In Time
done
is half
Social
a good-
Network.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
that was a
very
great
good.
film.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, In
Yeah.
Time.
We like JT.
I liked In Time.
I liked half the of In Time.
yeah.
The second half was like
Actually,
a completely
it's
different direction.
Just a B movie. Like, I didn't put too
A
much
B
stock
movie.
into
It's
it.
a B
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
it is.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah. So
And,
that was
and
it.
what have you watched, Ed?
I watched one on Netflix the other night, actually. I think it got released around October. It's a remake of a Danish film, and I think shot for shot, because I've only seen this one with Jake Gyllenhaal, called The Guilty. Now, it's an hour and a half, so it's not too long. It is about this guy who's, like, you know, on probation. He's just serving the 911 calls.
Oh,
He's like
yeah.
a detective.
Oh yeah, no, I have seen this. I just remember it. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
yeah, right. Okay, cool.
Sorry,
And
I
you know,
just- I forgot
he's
to
not
spoil
one
it.
calls. He gets this
Yeah.
threat of someone being like taken hostage or something, and he has to try and solve that. And it's like those films, like I guess maybe like
Is it
phone
Phone Booth and Buried? And
Yeah,
like
yeah,
one
where
location.
it's like
One
one sort of
location,
central location, like in this sort of office, and like there's mostly voice work. But I thought it was pretty good. Having said that, it is a remake and probably shot for shot. So the Danish one is probably one
Maybe
you should
worth
check
it.
out
Right, yeah.
because they make
That's
they
right,
don't make
yeah,
heat
they-
films,
they-
but they
yeah.
make good quality.
Did
films.
were they the ones who originally did? Is it Let the Right One In? Is
I think that is Danish,
Swedish.
or is that Swedish?
Swedish, yeah.
We'll call it Scando.
Yeah,
But,
that's right.
yeah, we can all be right with that.
We
one.
can all be right. Yeah, it's all Scando.
For sure. I'll give you.
But
that.
they make some good stuff. I mean, like they've basically got like they've developed their own
Actually,
way
that
Is
of
the girl
filming
with the
it. They
dragon
got-
tattoo, maybe?
yeah, same
There you
thing.
go. Yeah, they got Nordic noir, that type of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
So they've developed their own
So-
sort of thing.
Yeah, so Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I think I like the Swedish one better, but I want to say I'm not sure if you're the same with me. Let the Right One In and Let Me In.
Yeah.
I like the American
One
remake
more.
better.
Really? I like them
Which
kind
is,
of equal.
you never like them. You never like the
Well,
remake
Matthew
better.
Vaughn is a good director.
I kind of like them equal too, yeah, because it's so hard to go past the first one because it's the original
Yeah.
idea. So unless
you
they
got-
do something, unless it's like The Departed, where
Yeah.
it's like it's a remake, but it's
It's-
Irish mob.
Or like Scarface,
to
which is
me-
a remake.
Yes, exactly.
To me, the
yeah,
difference is that
Yeah.
they've got some really good, I guess, like child actor talent,
Cody.
like Cody
Oh.
Smith McPhee and
Grace Cortez.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Cortez.
And then, what's the name? Jenkins, the old guy
Yeah,
from Step
yeah,
Brothers.
yeah. So
He's
they've got
a
some
good-
really-
Oh, Richard Jenkins.
Richard Jenkins,
Really?
yeah, he's the
I just
dad.
watched him I just watched The Shape of Water finally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is really just the She Fucks a Fish movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I know people joked about it in 2017
She Fucks
and
a
I
Fish.
missed it,
Hey,
but like
yeah.
that's the whole. Yeah, I didn't love it to be honest.
Hey,
with you.
no, she fucks a fish, but with plenty of foreplay.
Yeah.
Lots of
Yeah, yeah,
tantalize, just to tease you, get you in the mood.
It's basically if you want your vagina to smell even worse. Now they're like,
Keep it in.
keep it in, keep it in.
I'm just over
did you-
50s romanticism in
Yeah,
cinema. Like that's
right,
the thing,
yeah.
and I know
Yeah.
why Hollywood loved it because it
It's
fucking
a-
sucks off
Exactly.
old Hollywood for the whole.
Sounds like-
And then
movie.
throws in a little bit of a gay.
Oh yeah, with
as
Richard
well.
Jenkins. I kind of liked Richard Jenkins' character, and I thought that his gayness was natural to the movie. Like,
Not really. No, to me, it was just like throw it in there for an Oscar. That's that.
I thought it was a nice
what it felt
movie
like.
about like kind of. I think his idea was it was about
Yeah.
voiceless people. Literally, like she doesn't have a voice, but then the other main characters are an old bisexual guy, a black woman, you know, versus. I do like his idea that Michael Shannon, the villain, would have been the hero if the movie was made in the 50s, right? Like he would have
Oh,
been killing
yeah.
the fish man,
Yeah.
and he would have been the hero,
Yeah,
right?
Michael Shannon was for me
So-
the best part of that film. Not
Oh,
that
yeah.
I sided with his character.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah.
But like,
yeah,
I felt like he gave that movie something like a really worthy villain.
Yeah,
which
for
was
sure.
Yeah,
just
something
for
quite
me.
menacing.
Otherwise, for me, it was just not great.
It's forgettable. I haven't thought about it since I've watched it. I was like, oh, that was
And
interesting.
did it
then I-
win Best
then I-
Picture?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, look, that's what happens. Sometimes Best Picture is just not the best.
And then,
picture.
and then there was
I
a
know.
year. It was like a year or two ago where 1917 and Parasite were both up against each other, and these are two like
1917
great,
definitely deserved it.
fantastic- I'm on Team Parasite, but I mean, like if 1917 was brought out any other year, man, it just
Parasite,
it's
I would
walks away.
accept maybe Best Screenplay and Best Director.
They can share
But
whatever accolades
picture,
they want,
1917 as a picture, like the overall thing, that's just a far more impressive movie to me. In
Yeah,
terms
that's a fair
Yeah,
point.
that's true. That's
It's
true.
just for me, like I said at the time.
You love Parasite.
I just it's standard taste for me.
Maybe-
It's
maybe
one
they
moves
should-
to 10 and one moves to 9.5. That's it.
yeah,
It's
and
still
that's kind
so
of me,
very
but the
good.
reverse. Like 1917 is a 10.
Just want to circle back to what you were saying before about the gay character in
Richard Jenkins.
Rich
yeah.
Jenkins. Going back to Bond, how they had that little bit of quip about Q having a man over.
Did they?
Do you remember like that? Where he's like, "Oh, I got this bloke coming on. I'm really into him," or something like that. When they go to
Yeah.
Q's
Oh,
house,
did they?
do you reckon they're going to completely?
Excise
No. When it goes to a certain country that we're about to go to war with, China. Do you reckon they come like, "I got a woman coming over," or something like that?
100%.
And then like
100%.
all the Arab states are like, "Yeah, could we take that one too?"
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Make it a little bit.
I think that was
is my
always
one of my most hated parts of like modern cinema is like we'll make it like a little bit woke for the American audiences
Yeah.
and then just like cut it all out as soon as it goes international. It's the weakest like corporatist fucking bullshit. And that's unfortunately where I felt Bond treaded into with this one. I think they needed it to be successful obviously, and it felt more touched, and I don't mean in a big way, but like by Marvel than it has ever before.
So how do you mean? Just so like, do you mean like in that?
Like
you mean
it's
in the-
quippy, it's got like the same sort of characters and the same sort of relationships that like the Marvel characters have with each other.
Yeah.
Unearned moments. Like I kind of felt his death reminded me of Avengers Infinity War when they're not actually dead, so I'm not that sad about it because Bond will return soon. So like it didn't have the same emotional heft to me as it would if this was the end of the character. He's done. Bond is dead.
But the character being the one that's every different actor.
I know, I
plays
know.
is-
But I
that's
just can't help
if you
the feeling.
If you follow that theory, that's a thing. Which I don't know.
I don't think that theory. I think it's just we just do a reboot. It's just like
Yeah.
same character but in an earlier time and different
for sure
actor
yeah.
and all that.
No, that's a good point.
You reckon they'll leave that universe like and as it is and then just completely move on.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
That's probably for the best, actually.
and they got to do it with a different
But they
tone
often,
as well.
They
I
often
think.
have, like, I remember Q, the previous Q was in
He's stuck
what,
around.
17.
and M was
that old
yeah,
man,
transitions.
forgettable M.
Yeah.
John
I think the
Cleese.
same
No,
Felix.
I remember Judi Dench.
Oh,
was
Judi
in
Dench. I'm talking about the M
Pierce
from like
Brosnan
the.
as well.
I'm talking about, yeah, that's true. And I'm talking about the M's from like the older ones. I think it's the
Yeah,
same.
some
M in,
characters
like,
cross over, which
say,
is why
Roger Moore and
Anna-
Sean Connery's.
Yeah.
Keep-
Surely.
keep her
I
in.
feel like she's earned that. Like,
Oh,
she
sure.
gets a recall. 100%.
Or just give her like a spy movie. She's like, all right, we got John Wick 4.
She's like-
she should be in John
She's
Wick
like the most exciting young actress for me at the moment.
I think there's a lot though. I think there's a lot of really great. Like I want to give a shout out to Jodie Comer. I think she's really great. I've loved Anna Taylor Joy and everything she's
Yeah,
done. There's some really good stuff.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson Joy
Is that a callback?
from
to
the
last
Yes,
time?
yes.
Because I'm a fan.
we did that just for you, Ed. But I think they're probably just skirting 30 or about to be 30, and they're really kind of coming. Like there's
Yeah.
some promising. Florence Pugh. Remember
Yeah.
I said before?
Apparently, Kristen Stewart just put in like an Oscar performance in a movie.
Oh, I didn't. Why?
I know, but maybe
it's
she
the
did.
Diane Spencer one, but they just had the crown. They just had on the crown. It's like, and she
She
looks so moping, and she's like,
Oh, yeah.
"Oh no, woe was me." It's like, dude, you just got killed in a tunnel. It was an accident. Ed Webeck is sponsored by the royal family.
So is she? Because I just started watching The Crown. Is she in season 4 or is she
No,
going to be
no,
in
no,
season
no.
5?
No. This is a separate movie called Spencer because they're
Oh,
they're,
well,
they're
okay.
as creative
Is
as
that,
my
well,
right.
that's the one I heard she was
Yeah,
Oscar
yeah.
worthy. in.
Right, yeah.
But like, why they think it's like sort of epic to be like, let's just call them by their last name and just one
Yeah,
title.
yeah.
Like that's as much creative as my fucking pinky. Like,
yeah.
and it was like
that.
from
I like that
the.
too.
trying to think of another
It actually
one. where
says it says like from the creators of Jackie.
yeah, or
That's
Logan.
Well, Logan's. I mean, that's a character. But like when they go historical characters, it's be like last name.
yeah. Churchill. I'm sure there's one.
Churchill. What about Weinstein?
Weinstein, Epstein, Weinstein and Epstein, buddy cop.
Surely, yeah. If like you're looking at producers in Hollywood and they got to steal the other name, you're just like. It's a matter of time, buddy.
You're really trying to get us cancelled right now.
Yeah, I know.
You're doing your absolute best. Now, what else were we going to say about? Oh yeah. So whoever Diana from The Crown, which we've all seen, or you're about to
I've
see
watched season
the
1.
last,
Oh,
the
yeah,
regular
so-
the later season.
the later season. So whoever played Diane in that one was really good. I don't know who that is though. I
Yeah,
think
she
was
is really good.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be done again. Like
Yeah.
you just
No, because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, exactly. I think.
yeah, like-
What's her name? Olivia Colman got the Queen, and then
Yeah.
also got like another Queen role. Or is that not right?
The Crown is based on a movie called The Queen.
yes.
Oh well, okay. Well, which is Helen Mirren.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I guess Olivia Colman played Queen Anne, and then she played the Queen.
That's right. Yeah, she played another. That's right.
Yeah,
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 she
yeah.
played another.
Can't
Yeah,
believe
she's-
Olivia Colman is where she is now. Like
After
I-
Peep Show.
Peep Show, yeah, like
yeah.
that's her introduction to the world.
Oh, good on her. Yeah.
And now she's like
She-
one of the biggest stars. At like 50, she becomes like one of the biggest stars in the
If
world.
we ever had a pod called "Haven't You Done Well,"
She's
that
number
would
one.
be number one episode. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
haven't you done well, Olivia? Like, I'd just be like, have her on, tell her how impressed we are with her. No questions. Just tell her how impressed we are.
We are so proud.
Apart from haven't you done well? That's the one question.
Well, that's not a question. Same as like we are proud of you.
Yeah.
Haven't you done well?
Haven't you done well?
No. Shut up. Don't answer. You know, she actually won't say anything on the podcast.
Actually, she's been here the whole time, but
Yeah, there's no way.
We've got no
they're ever
questions
gonna
for
know.
her.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
like,
that could be
hello,
anything.
I'm Olivia Colman. I'm right here. I absolutely love playing Queen Elizabeth II. She's a cockney.
Yeah. That's it. Perfect. And that's a wrap. Just about.
that's a
Any
wrap.
other-
Now we're pretty much almost an hour in, so
Yeah, let's do it there. Hard cuts coming. I'm guessing.
I'm not cutting anything out of that episode. I don't think.
Alrighty.
That's funny. All right.
Well,
that's
how
it.
about you
Well,
give us a
thanks-
closing thought, Mr. Rhino?
closing thought?
Yeah.
Everything I thought of was going to get cut, so I'll just say thank you for joining us, Ed. Nick, thanks for returning for another week, and we'll be back shortly. So yeah.
Oh, pleasure to be here. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Pleasure is all ours.
Ow. Sorry, we should have said that together.
Yeah. Oh, well. We'll get it right one.